Hello, Sean. You are muted.
So I believe you can hear me now. Yeah, so sorry, we're standing a little bit behind schedule. We're trying to see if we can get more people to join us. I think we have a handful of people on the call at the moment, so we can start. Good afternoon, everyone. We're excited, we feel delighted having everybody join this, our first inaugural meeting for DevOps as a Service mentoring platform. We count it a privilege, and we don't take it for granted. Your intention to join this inaugural meeting is all because we're all working towards an objective, and that objective is to ensure that we try to prepare the future, the next generation of IT specialists, IT practitioners, to be able to acquire the startup knowledge they require to succeed in their choosing career paths. And this mentoring platform had come as a result of what we have in common with the founders, Dapo and Nuruddin. One thing we have in common is that willingness to share knowledge. And for those of us that are very conversant with the camps model, you talk about culture, automation, measure, and share. That share part, the head there is to share. And we want to share, we want to give back to the IT community in Nigeria. We want to see how we can change the narrative of how IT is being practiced in Nigeria, especially in the aspect of DevOps practice. And I will give the floor, I'll open the floor now for Dapo to come up. You'll be going further to tell us more about the DAS stories. I mean, what really prompted us, what really inspired us to come up with this platform to help to mentor DevOps enthusiasts that will be coming to develop their skills and to progress in their career. I'll keep the floor open for that.
All right, thank you so much, Sean. Thank you so much for that. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody from wherever you're actually joining us from. I'd like to welcome you to DevOps as a Service Nigeria. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so I would like to welcome you to DevOps as a Service Nigeria. My name is Oladapo Babalola, just like Sheung had actually introduced me. And I am one of the founders of daas.ng, which is DevOps as a Service Nigeria. Now, this platform has been designed to mentor anyone with a passion to learn and practice DevOps. I have over 7 years of experience within the IT field, and I've also mentored around 35 graduates in the IT industry. So basically, I love to share knowledge, and that was what informed the idea to start this initiative. So over the last few weeks, my team and I have been planning fully for you all, and I'd say that the reception thus far has been fantastic, right? So this mentorship journey started over a year ago. You know, we had actually wanted to launch a DevOps mentorship platform for aspiring engineers, but then we didn't have the chance to commence. But we believe that that there wouldn't be any other time than now, than to start now. So that being said, would teach you what you need to know, right? Starting from the basic information of what you need to get started with, the concepts, the ideas, and the tools needed in this journey. So in summary, this is more like a launch pad to teach you how to navigate your way through DevOps, right? It's just like having all the ingredients you need. For example, if you want to prepare jollof rice, of course, you would need to prepare yourself with the ingredients. Talk about pepper, talk about seasoning, onion, oil, rice, and so on and so forth, to be able to prepare a wonderful meal. So the same applies to what you learn on this platform. But before the end of this inaugural meeting, would share the schedule with the team and also post it on our Discord page. So again, we opened our Discord page to everybody, that they actually want to form a niche within the DevOps space itself. But I'd say that for now, we have enough participants already on the Discord page, right? And we'll not be accepting anyone again. But due to the requests that we've been getting, we would still solicit that if you want to join the Discord page, or if you have someone that also wants to join the mentorship platform, kindly do so now. We'll share the link again. We'll reopen the link so that everybody can join, but we'll close the doors to new entries by 11:59 p.m. tonight, right? So that being said, right, someone will ask, why DevOps, right? Because it's a common practice in Nigeria where people ask questions with questions, and then they will ask, why DevOps? And we'll follow it with why not DevOps, right? So all of this will be answered today. Why the need for DevOps? What is DevOps? What is the buzzword that everybody actually talking about? DevOps here and there and all of that. So all of that will be answered today. So I just want you to take out time to listen carefully to all that will be said today. Now, before I take the back seat, I would like to introduce my co-founders. I'd like to introduce my co-founders, Seun, Oluwaseun, Oyetoyinbo, and Nuruddin Kamilu. Now, we have all worked together, at some point within the technology division of GT Bank. And I'd say that I'm lucky, you are lucky, we are all lucky, to have these people in our corner. So Seun has over 10 years of IT experience, and is currently heading one of the functional units, one of the leading telecoms company in Nigeria. So I have no doubt that it will bring in a lot of experience, to this platform itself. Now, the second person is a very good friend of mine, Nuruddin. Now, Nuruddin is based in Poland, and is one guy I know to be very smart, a first-class engineer by profession. But I usually tell him that he's a DevOps practitioner by calling, right? He's a DevOps practitioner by calling. So I won't go much into their biographies, but then if you need more info about what they do, you can always check our website on daas.ng, daas.ng. Also, we have incredible faculty speakers who will be taking us through some engaging lectures over the next few weeks, right? We have Joshua Babalola, who is also my other brother and also my mentor. He has deep expertise in IT. He has worked with PwC, Microsoft, and other top organizations in Europe, right? So we are lucky to have him mentor us. Then the second person is Eche. So at the right time, Seun is going to do like a formal introduction about our faculty speakers. We have Eche Zona Agubata, another tech expert, within the IT terrain. You would hear him speak in 2 weeks' time, right? We have Femi, Femi is with EY, Sheyi is with Dell, Kelly as well with EY, Asa Abzon, Lawrence, we have Samuel, David, Okon, we have fantastic speakers, to mention but a few. So we're actually privileged, to have these people in our circle, because it is usually very difficult. Because if you hear me speak, I say that we've been trying to launch this since last year, but we didn't really have enough resources. But now that we have enough hands, we have enough resources, in our circle, we feel we are privileged, to have these big minds within us, to be able to pass knowledge and time all for free. So someone will ask that, why are we doing this for free? Because someone sent me a message sometimes ago on LinkedIn that she wants to know the payments platform, for payment. And then I told her that we are doing this for free, right? So again, someone will ask, why are we doing this for free? Now, the basic answer is we are doing this for free to create a legacy in Nigeria that we still have good Nigerians, who are willing to pass values, for people to rediscover themselves, for people to build their skills and also to create value for others. So it's just like a chain, that is being created. We are trying as much as possible to pass value for as many people as possible. And then it's now the responsibility of other people as well to pass the same value on to others. So it is pertinent to note that, that chain must not be broken. And that is what the daas.ng is all about. It's also all about creating value, right? So Next is, please take note that this platform is completely free and will not be collecting a dime from anybody, right? So if anybody is reaching out to you from daas.ng, to pay into a certain account, please just know that that is a fraudulent activity, so to say. So we will not ask anybody to. Will not collect a dime from anybody. But again, if you want to support this platform with funds, to be able to organize physical meetings and seminars, because as time goes on, we'll start organizing physical meetings and seminars, and if you want to actually support that, or you have like a company that could actually sponsor us, please kindly reach out, or you send a mail to hello.daas.ng, right? So lastly, we would also be posting legitimate DevOps jobs on our career channel page on Discord. And that's why I've been soliciting, for anybody that wants to be on this platform to register on our Discord channel, because we'll be posting career activities, jobs on our Discord channel. And I'll tell you this for free. We have been so overwhelmed with so many DevOps roles that I literally even had to beg, my co-founders to share, because I'm actually on a cloud platform where I literally just had to post jobs like almost every week, because the jobs are just overwhelming. And that's why if you should go on LinkedIn and just type DevOps, you see so many roles, and that's why we want to, create that channel for people to be involved as well. All right. So I think that is all from me. So next up, we talk about the mission. We'll talk about let me see. Okay, I'm just trying to get a schedule. All right, so next up, we'll talk about the mission of the mentorship platform, what we saw and what we are trying to address, and that will be anchored by Sean. So Sean, over to you.
All right, Dr. Thank you very much. Thank you. You are giving us a very interesting bit. I will call it bit and bytes of the DAS story. So I'll take it up from where you stopped. We're talking about the mission of our mentorship platform and why do we really want to come up with a platform that will be done free of charge, looking at the value of DevOps training, what is what in Nigeria and even outside of the country, or other species where DevOps is currently reigning. See how much a lot of fortune is being charged to transfer that knowledge. And we have chosen to give it free of charge. We're not charging anything for it. And you see the reason why I want to do that. Patrick DuBois, he said that the word DevOps gets reduced to technology is a manifestation of how badly we need a cultural shift. When you mention DevOps, what comes to people's mind today? Is a technology. They see it as a technology, DevOps, development, operations. But I want you to know that it's beyond that. And we, as the founders, we feel there is a need for a cultural shift. We need to change people's mindsets. We need to let people know what DevOps is all about. And there's no how you want to do a cultural shift without learning. And that's why if you check our slogan, we said learn, innovate, and disrupt. And there's a need for us to disrupt. We had a session this morning, I was telling them, I said, it's not possible that there's no how people will learn without innovate. There's no how you innovate without disrupting. Without disruption, you cannot innovate. So people are taking a lot of wrong concept, a lot of wrong beliefs about DevOps, a lot of knowledge about DevOps that is not true, which we need to change. And that is the whole essence why we're setting up this mentoring platform. And you see, I will just take us through what is the practice like, especially in the Nigeria IT space. It's not unusual to find out that there's a team called development, there's an operations team, and both teams, they seem to be working on their own. I mean, there's no synchronization, there's no collaboration sort of before the advent of DevOps. I mean, the development team have a target they want to achieve. They have what I would call a circle of concern, quite different from what the operational teams have. Operational teams, they want to get service out, they want to get the customers, the consumers have fantastic experience. And for the development team, is a different ball game for them entirely. And so it's not unusual to find this imaginary wall of confusion. Some people call it wall of confusion. That's why you can see that part. Everybody is trying to work on their own. Development team, you see them trying to play this blame game. It's the development team that is posting those issues. It's the operations team, they didn't deploy fast enough to the environment. Oh, the development team, the code, there are some bugs on your code, and all these sort of things. And so there's need for that to change. And so you see that separation is there. And this is posing a lot of challenges. The legacy environment has a lot of challenges compared to what the DevOps team is bringing on board. One is as to the aspect of the speed of change and release management. And because of the waterfall approach that is applied in most of our IT shops in Nigeria, most of the IT companies in Nigeria, or where IT is being practiced in Nigeria, we find out that innovation is very slow. Changes don't happen as fast as we expect it to happen, which DevOps really wants. Changes have to happen as fast as possible. Release has to happen as fast as possible. But you know, most of our IT enterprises today, they run an environment that is not automated. You do a lot of manual work. And that we mentioned while we're together in our organization working together, we find a lot of things that are too manual. You want to try to innovate things. You want to try to bring in changes. So many things that we are doing this. Let's change the approach. Let's change the manner of which we are applying things. But because of his manner, no automation, it becomes difficult for you to really innovate. It becomes a challenge. And you find a lot of cross teams are working in silos. And because of that regulation, it becomes a challenge. And that's the whole essence why we thought it wise that there will be need for us to really change the narrative of IT practice in Nigeria. And that will only happen through DevOps. And when we help to encourage the adoption of DevOps practice. And like I said earlier on, that DevOps goes beyond just the tool. Many people see it as technology or they see it as a tool. And we'll be talking about the value, principles, method, and practices of DevOps. There are a lot of things that is embedded in it beyond just being a tool. You can know the tool, you can understand the technology, but the value is there, the principle is there. There are principles that you need to apply. And there are methods and practices to DevOps that needs to be applied. And so we've chosen to adopt the sprint method. It's the sprint approach of the agile methodology, in which Tapo is going to talk more about in our mentoring platform. And so with our free sessions, we want to guide you through the fundamentals of DevOps and when to apply it and what to keep in mind. And also, we want to make use of digital lectures, meetups, workshops, and we want to give DevOps enthusiasts the resources that they need for them to develop their talent and also to better manage their career paths. And with this our mentoring platform, we want to create an avenue where people can learn DevOps, they can test their skills, they can build interview techniques with the founders and the faculty leaders, which I will introduce to us later on, and while getting prepared to take on challenges that come on their way. And I want to assure you that at the end of it all the attendees, we already have some people on board already as mentees that will be going through the mentoring program. You'll be living with a good understanding of how to employ DevOps in your existing and future projects, best practices, and a toolbox to start adopting the approach the right way. And we want to thank everybody that has been part of this program, that have chosen, they've created time out of their busy schedule. You know what weekend is like, especially in Nigeria and in Lagos. But out of that busy schedule, we started to create time to be part of this inaugural meeting, because we want to change the narrative of IT practice in Nigeria. We want to build a platform, a community of DevOps practitioners, DevOps professionals that people, startups can leverage on to really develop and to succeed in their chosen career. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Shew. Shew, I think we have some people within the waiting room. You might just need to allow them in. Then please, if you are not contributing, or if you are not giving any talk, please kindly mute your mic. All right, so thank you so much. And okay, so moving on, right? Some again will ask that, okay, what is DevOps, right? Some will have different definition for DevOps. You know, DevOps, as you all know, is a combination of practices and tools designed to increase an organization's ability to deliver applications and services faster than we have with, within the traditional software development process itself. Some would say that DevOps is a tool. Others would say that DevOps is a culture. So what is really DevOps itself? And then taking us through that journey, we have one of our co-founders as well, Nuruddin, that would do justice to that. So Nuruddin, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Dapo, please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, but if you can be more audible so that everybody can hear you well.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yes, it's okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Nuruddin Kamilu is my name, and happy to be here with you all, and also, I'm glad to also share my experience. Also in Nigeria, like everybody, even though I'm based in Poland, and also trying to use, my environmental location to look into how to leverage on that, and also how to close the gap between, DevOps in Europe here and also DevOps in Nigeria. So this is one of our main goals that we want to achieve. So today I'll actually be taking you through, why DevOps, and more like a brief story, and also, how I expect you to think about DevOps, and also to look about DevOps. So I'll be guided by this outline, just an introduction, and talks about some story about the real DevOps story, the evolution of DevOps, and also, adoption of DevOps so far in Nigeria, and also, in other part of the country and part of the world, and also how we are expected to think about DevOps. So basically, Dapo and Oluwaseun have talked a lot about DevOps. They've been able to actually, identify that, okay, DevOps actually helps you to, influence the application lifecycle, and through its planning, development, delivery, and, operation phases. So I tell you, it's all surrounded about the application. It's all about the application. Some people also say DevOps is more like, a culture that unites people, and also processes and technologies. When I mean to unite people, talking about, uniting the development and, the operations engineer. I'm talking about uniting technologies and processes, talking about the different tools and technologies that are used, in DevOps, what's called a DevOps process. So this is basically what DevOps is. Now we all understand that, DevOps is an intersection of the dev, that is the development, and, operation phase. But sometimes you also find it very difficult to answer questions like, okay, where does the boundary start and end? What part of dev is not DevOps? And what part of, operations is not DevOps? And, many organizations also at some time, when you do some interview, they give you tags of, developers, and tell you that, okay, it's a DevOps engineer, it's a DevOps role. We expect you to be able to do this. Now, I would just like to, quickly take us through this and, try to clarify some things about that. I tell you, like I said, everything starts with the application. When a developer creates an application, this developer makes use of different technology stacks, to actually write the application and make sure the application is ready, and also, store the source code in a code repository. However, the DevOps engineer will not be the person that's actually going to program the application, but it is required, and it will also be very, very helpful as a DevOps engineer to have little knowledge of some programming language, and also based on the fact that, different services communicate within an application architecture. So with that, it makes it very easy for you to actually do some troubleshooting, and also, to make some amendment and automation within the software development life cycle. Now the application is ready, but this application needs to run somewhere. Let me take it on the simple part. I don't want to say maybe it's a cloud or probably private server or anything, but let's say a server. Now, for this application to run on server, the work of a DevOps engineer is someone that actually needs to look into how to provision this server and configure the servers to make them ready for the application to run on them. These are, like the basic and core job functions of a DevOps engineer. So other people say DevOps engineer are actually, jack of all trade, master of none. Why do they say this? They say this because, within DevOps culture actually brings in automation of, many of the processes that are involved in the software development lifecycle. Talking about, taking it from the from the planning of the application to building to to coding to building to test, release, deployment, operation, and monitoring. So these processes that is using use some like pipelines like CI/CD pipelines, some Ansible scripts, Terraform are running. It's a DevOps engineer that actually carry this workload and make sure that that automation process, or that flow, that is the flow between from the planning that is on the code in part of their software development lifecycle up to the place the application is deployed and also monitored, and for good and effective services that is provided to the end user. The DevOps engineer is that person that makes sure that this automation and process is very, very seamless, and it goes effectively. And at the same time, when there are troubles or issues that have to be troubleshooted, it is the DevOps engineer that also come in. So it's very important when a DevOps engineer is actually very, very conversant with the software development lifecycle, and it also makes the job of a DevOps engineer very easy. Now let's do a bit of like a storytelling. What is DevOps? What is the real story we're all about DevOps? You see, I think I was shown during his presentation, I saw him talking about making a quote about Patrick Devos. Patrick Devos, when talking about DevOps, you can never forget that man, because he's an agile practitioner. And I think DevOps first emerged between 2007 and 2009, and where he was actually frustrated between due to inefficiencies between software development and IT operations team. And in 2009, there was actually a conference that was actually held by that was held by chief engineers at O'Reilly. If you are people that are very, very conversant with O'Reilly were the former owner of Katakoda, and they had this conference in 2009, and this conference was just like a presentation where the presentation was on, they said 10 deployments per day. That was the topic that was to be discussed, and it was just focused on, on the communication and collaboration between development and operation. And Patrick Devos identified or explained the situation that during that conference, it was obvious that developers and operation engineers were actually pointing fingers at each other, trying to say that, okay, it's your code that's not working, it's your machine that is faulty, probably some permissions are not allowed, you need to do some things and smart things like that. So with this, it actually made him more frustrated, and it pushed Patrick Devos to actually form his own conference, which was called DevOps Day. During that time, I think DevOps was actually focused on solving, three major things, because as you can remember before DevOps time, when you say, okay, a software developer writes a code, probably the testing is going for lots of months. Then after some time, the tester, detects some bugs, send it back to the developer tries to make some changes, and when it's time to release the application, the operations team will say that, okay, we are not ready for this application to go live, so please let us try to push the deployment day. And the application stakeholders, that is, let me say on the managerial level, they tell you that no, we must stick to plan. And most times when they deploy this application, the application does not even function as expected, and there are sometimes that, rollback has to be done. Even so from organizations that you could remember, they tell you, we have service downtime for 1 or 2 hours because that, they want to actually deploy applications. So then due to all this, DevOps then was actually focused to actually solve 3 main goals. And the first goal was actually to lower the failure rate for new releases. That was the first one. The second one also to fasten the mean time recovery. What is when there's a crash or a crash in a new release, they can easily roll back to the previous state of the application. Then another thing was actually to create a short lead time between fixes. That is fixing of application between the dev and also the QA. And nowadays, DevOps have actually gone a long way. We have companies like Netflix that we know today, they do over hundreds of deployments per day. And other organizations like Spotify, like Deloitte and other things have also been able to take the advantage of this DevOps to increase to increase their productivity as an organization, and also to gain more revenue. And today also we have DevOps as one of the field that's actually increasing with about 20 to 34% yearly. That is actually to tell you that a field that it expands every day and every day. And if you look at CNCF has more like what they call like a template. They call it CNCF is Cloud Native Foundation. And if you look at their architecture, there are a lot of tools in different fields that actually has to do with DevOps. This is actually telling you how far DevOps have gone, and we have a lot of startups that's actually coming up today and also trying to bring in new innovations and new automations to make DevOps processes very, very very easy. Now my next slide is actually about some statistics about adoption of DevOps, and also information that actually concern us. You see that in the first, I think the left top corner, you see the statistics talking about organizations where DevOps practitioner works. You see that a large percentage of these organizations have over 10,000 employees, that actually that actually DevOps practitioner. That is one. Another thing is that your education level does not actually limit you from being a DevOps engineer. A large percentage of DevOps engineers have a bachelor's with that. That is to tell you that whether you have bachelor's with that, or probably you have a master's, or probably another degree, that does not say you cannot be a DevOps engineer. Below it also, you see statistics that talks about the average time a DevOps engineer spends with a particular employer. You could see that a high percentage of them spend within 1 to 2 years. This is actually telling you the fact that this field is a field where you have job opportunities. There's another statistics from Google State of DevOps that talks about that just 2% of DevOps engineers are unemployed. That is to tell you that the field is actually very, 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 very big. A lot of people want new people to join them, DevOps engineers to join them in the organization. And the fact that DevOps is a very high paying job, make it very easy for DevOps engineer to probably leave a recruiter or probably an employer and move to another job within a short period of time, as you can see in the statistics. Now, which industries do DevOps practitioner works? You could say definitely financial and technology industry will definitely take the because these are industries whereby we have a lot of applications that are released and lot of custom solutions that are actually being deployed. And with the development of or the evolution of DevOps also, we've also have government industries, especially the US government, that makes use of DevOps processes in some of their services. Even airlines also, you see automatic or self-service when you go to the airport to check in. Some of this is actually some of these applications that you have been deployed or probably released based on some DevOps process being followed, and at the same time bugs and fixes can be made or can be done within a short period of time. Also, we have healthcare industries and also education and manufacturing industry like Toyota, for example, that is also making use. Even JP Morgan also are some other companies that actually using DevOps in their day-to-day activity. Now, another thing is that now we say another thing that actually convince people is that, okay, I want to be a DevOps engineer. Must I do cloud? Is it compulsory that I do cloud? Okay, do I need AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. Now you can see that in the statistics here also, it says that, a large percentage of, these organizations are running on what's public cloud, that is AWS and Azure, and also about 21% of them also at the same time run multi-cloud. That is to tell you that it's an advantage for you if you have an experience or an idea in, some of these cloud services. And we also have new cloud provisioners, that is blue cloud services that are actually coming up. Now, how do you think DevOps? What is expected? How do you think DevOps as a DevOps engineer? I've talked about a lot of things. I've talked about many, many things. There've been a lot of vocabularies, but how do you think DevOps? Tommy Tinaje, which is a lead of software engineer in Spotify, which is actually a company that also makes up DevOps practice in their software development lifecycle, says that to successfully implement continuous delivery, you need to change the culture of how an entire organization view software development efforts. That is to tell you that DevOps is more like a culture. And for you to implement DevOps successfully in the organization, you need to be able to change your view about application lifecycle. With this, it will make it easy for you to not only adopt DevOps methodology and DevOps culture, but at the same time, also in the day-to-day activities or operations of your business. Now, what are the common DevOps practices? I have divided this into 6 basically. The first one is continuous integration, because these are some of the terminologies that you get to hear as a DevOps engineer. Continuous integration is just basically a software development practice where developers regularly just match their code changes into a central repository, after which it is built and tested automatically. That is, we have automated tests and builds that are run on this code. With this, continuous integration actually just focus on the goal for making it very easy to find and address bug fixes very, very quick, and also improved on the software quality. This is, if you can remember, I was talking about the goals of DevOps then. So continuous delivery actually helps us to solve that number one goal, which actually has to do with finding bugs and also making sure that they are fixed very, very quickly, and at the same time, improving the software quality. Another one is continuous delivery. Continuous delivery is at the same time a software development practice where your code changes are automatically built, they are tested, and they are prepared for a release to production. That is just it. So continuous delivery just has to do with your application being available. In your continuous integration stage, I don't want to make use of some terminologies. There's what we call an artifact. An artifact is just like a deployable instance of the application. It is that artifact that is actually passed into the continuous delivery stage, which is actually released as your application in the production environment. Another DevOps practice is what we call microservices. Before we have microservices that was invented as a DevOps service, we have what we call the monolithic architecture. Monolithic architecture is basically you having your application as just one very rigid building, for example. And when you want to make changes, the whole building has to, the whole building has to stop operation. Let me put it that way. But with microservice architecture is just like a design approach in which you used to build a simple application as a set of small services. A simple explanation or something that is very similar to microservice architecture is when you have like a Linux kernel. In a Linux kernel, if you want to make changes on on some packages on Linux, you don't need to actually, probably want to make a changes on HTTP, that's Apache. You don't need to actually, make restart the whole Linux server. You can basically just work on that small service, that's HTTP that you want to work on, restart it without actually, interfering or disturbing operation of other services that is actually running within the Linux kernel. So this is basically, what microservices is all about. Then another one we have is also what we call infrastructure as a code. Many people call it IAC. It's just like a practice also in which the infrastructure is provisioned and managed using code. That is just a simple one. Like I said earlier when I was talking about, I think in my second slide, I was talking about the job responsibility. I talked about a server which is a place where your application has to run. Now this infrastructure can actually be provisioned using code and can also be managed using code. So that is basically what infrastructure as code is is in simple terms. Another thing we also have that is very, very, related to infrastructure as a code is what we call configuration management. Configuration management, using the developers and system administration use code to automate, operating system, and also, run some operational tasks. That is configuration management. They use tools like Terraform, Ansible in this field. Now, the fifth DevOps practice is what we call monitoring and logging. Monitoring and logging basically is just for you to have metrics, or probably to gather metrics and log that actually gives you an insight on how your application or infrastructure is performing, and also the impact on the world of that product at the end user's end. That is just a simple definition of what we call the monitoring and logging. With this, we make use of different tools like Prometheus, ELK, Grafana, Datadog, which are actually going to be touched during our mentorship program. Then the last one is communication and collaboration. I think there was something I've not talked about since, which is actually agile methodology. Agile methodology is different from DevOps. However, at the same time, they work hand in hand. Agile methodology comes in more in the communication and collaboration, because it's more like a key cultural aspect of DevOps. And with this, it helps actually to bring together workflows, responsibility of developers and operation during the application development lifecycle. They make use of tools like Jira, make use of terminologies like Sprint, make use of tools like Confluence in this part of the DevOps practice. I think that will be all from my end. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for listening.
All right, okay. Thank you so much, Nuruddin, for that wonderful insights into DevOps, right? And as time goes on, we'll still delve more into the DevOps practices itself. That's during our sprints. And again, that would take me to the mode and format of the mentorship program itself. Talk about seminars and the workshops. How do we want to do this? So I will just quickly share my screen and show you like the brief format of how we want to go about. Okay, so basically the formats will run everything in sprints, right? And once you start project management itself, they will talk about sprints, and they are going to understand what a sprint is. But on a high level, a sprint is a set period of time during which a specific work has to be completed. So again, we're going to be operating in sprints. So once you subscribed to the Discord channel, right, we would utilize 2 weeks for a sprint. And this will run for 15 weeks, splitted into 8 sprints. So in total, we would have 8 sprints, right? And that will run for a period of 15 weeks. Now, what you are seeing on the screen is an example of it's just like a brief guideline of how we are going to run. So within a sprint, we would cover different modules of the roadmap. Again, please take note that this will serve as a guide and would not guarantee that you're going to be a DevOps professional after these 3 months, right? So again, the mentorship is only to guide. It's only to guide and help you within your DevOps journey, because the DevOps journey itself has like a steep learning curve, right? And at times it can be so frustrating. And that is why we have actually created this, that within the next 3 months, we would work by your side to help you know what you need to know. Do you understand? Again, it will not make you a DevOps professional after 3 months, but it will give you an insight into what you need to become a DevOps professional. Again, even after the end of the sprint, please, if you are not talking, kindly mute. Sean, please. Okay. Even after the end of the sprints, right, you'll be required to leverage all that you've gathered to become a good DevOps practitioner by practicing daily and making use of the different industry standard practices, that will be shared with you by our faculty leads, right? So again, At the beginning of each sprint, remember I told you that 2 weeks would form a sprint for us. At the beginning of each sprint, we'll have a general lecture, and this would mostly be on Saturdays. Again, because of the busy schedule, we are very, very busy, at work, as well as our faculty leaders too. They're also very busy. And I'm sure that you are also very busy at work as well. And that is why before the beginning of any sprint, before the beginning of any lecture week, right, we'll have a general lecture, which will be led by our faculty leaders, and then technical roadmaps, lecture notes, YouTube videos, and materials will be shared during the sprint period, which would be further discussed in our Discord groups. So mentees will be divided into 4 groups. We'll have Team Kubernetes, we have Team Cloud, Team Agile, and Team Docker. Again, you're going to be in all of these teams, and it's not like because you are part of Team Kubernetes, you only be doing the Kubernetes. No, it's just our own way of naming the teams. We feel that the name should be taken enough. So if you are in Team Kubernetes, you'll be doing absolute like the same thing that other people are doing within the different teams. So you'll be divided into 4 groups. So after the hands-on sessions, right, you'll be required to share and discuss within your groups, and thereafter nominate 2 members to share and discuss what they've learned during the week under review. For example, if you can see my screen over here, you can see that within sprint 1, we have 2 weeks. We have week 1 and week 2. Week 1 will cover project management. Again, we have someone, Yetunde Salah, who is a project management expert, that works with AppZone. She would talk about project management on this day, right? She will break down what you need to know about project management, because again, when Odin was talking about DevOps, the pipeline, it always starts with knowing what you want to do, because as a programmer, you don't just start developing, right? You don't just start throwing things into the pipeline for you to build. There needs to be like a scoping, where everybody are in the same room and they understand what they want to do. So she will talk about all of those project management principles, right? So now she would do that on 30th of July, or the dates could actually change, maybe like Friday or Saturday. We're not sure yet, but she'll talk about project management. Then during that week, right, everybody will be within the Discord page, and then she would continue to share insights. She'll continue to share materials of what she had actually thought about the previous lecture. Then on Friday, that week, right, there will be team presentation by at least 2 representatives within that same group, where you would present, what you've actually learned about project management. Again, DevOps is all about collaboration, and we feel everybody should be able to collaborate to, get the desired output from all of this. Now, those 2 representatives again would have to shuffle, meaning once you've presented, you're no longer eligible to present again. We have to choose 2 other people that will present within another week. So you can see week 2, we have Agile methodology. Again, we have experts. Echezona would be telling us about what we need to know about Agile, where it will break down the waterfall technology, the traditional settings, and where we are coming from as compared to the Agile itself. So just to tell you that we're actually set and prepared for you. So on this week 2, the same thing will happen. It will talk about Agile, and then during the course of the week, there will be materials, there will be lecture notes, videos, to be able to help you. And then at the end of that week, on the Friday, 2 representatives would present what they've learned about Agile. Now, again, there will be scores, per group, and then at the end of the whole sprints, right, we will know the most effective group itself. So really, it's not all about competition, but we actually want to bring out that seriousness, because this is going to involve a whole lot of sacrifice, our time, and we don't want to start something and find out that even our mentees are not serious. So a mentor can tell you that it will be available by 11 p.m., maybe like on a weekend to 12, right? If you can, wake up as late as possible, because all of this is going to be hands-on. So we have sprint 1, sprint 2, all through sprint 8, where we'll talk about different topics. We'll talk about databases, NoSQL, SQL databases, programming language, Python, Golang, infrastructure provisioning, Terraform, Azure, AWS, Docker containers, Kubernetes, a whole lot of things, that will be discussed, with as time goes on. So again, this pattern will be used during the sprint period, where seminars, hands-on videos, materials will be shared. I've talked about that, right? Then, so DevOps is all about collaboration. You will all be required to collaborate and participate at all times, right? Again, members from other teams will not be able to see what is being discussed, within another team, but members and everybody will be able to collaborate at the end of the week, during the general sprint discussion. Now, someone may ask, what if I'm not available during the hands-on sessions? Right? Well, we would strongly encourage you to please join the sessions. Very, very important, so that you can actually ask our mentees, questions. But if you can't join, due to some reasons, right? And if you actually miss the class, you can always watch the video again on our YouTube channel. Another thing is, not all our faculty leaders will be available for live sessions, but their recorded videos, will be premiered on YouTube. And I will advise everybody, please, not to miss out of this chain. Lastly, this is a mentorship platform. And what that means is that our mentors and faculty leaders will be available on our Discord page to help you, when you are stuck or when you need guidance along the line during sprints. So please, let us take this very, very seriously, right? If you have been given materials, please just try as much as possible to fill in the material so that you can ask, our mentors, different questions. Now, again, these are industry experts that are always available to assist when you are stuck. So if we have a 2-week sprint, it is expected that we deliver on whatever has been given to us. Again, I won't want to reemphasize, like I won't want to overflow this. These are very, very busy people, and it took like almost how many months to be able to convince them. So it won't be good when we start and then realize that people are not taking this thing very seriously. So please take this thing very seriously. And I know that, yes, we have about I think we have about 60 people that actually signed up now, and less than 40 on a Discord page. Don't be surprised that at the end of the day, it's only 10 people, right, that will finish the mentorship course itself. We won't be surprised that just that 10 people, and so basically we're just trying to tell you that, right, we may start the journey together, but it's not everybody that will finish that same journey. So please, let us take this in very seriously. And I think that is that for now. Again, this is the first of its kind in Nigeria, right? So again, someone sent me a message on LinkedIn to ask about the price, and I told her that this is actually free. So please follow us on our social media platforms on YouTube, DevOps as a Service Nigeria, or daas.ng, and on our LinkedIn page as well, daas.ng, and we'll be glad to receive you. So we'll be wrapping up now, but before we wrap up this session, I would just want Sean to quickly do, please, Sean, let's make the introduction to be very brief so that we can take questions, from our guests. So Sean, over to you now. Let us quickly give a brief introduction of our faculty leaders. Over to you, Sean.
All right, thanks. Let me share my screen. Can you stop sharing? Okay, thanks for that session, taking us through the curriculum and what's expected, the schedule. Like Dr. rightly said, we're putting so much into this. It's not been easy to gather this set of faculty leaders because they're experts in their fields, they're industry captains, and it's not quite easy. It's a big sacrifice for them to volunteer their time to mentor DevOps enthusiasts. We deeply appreciate that. These are very vast. They are very vast professionals in their respective fields. And we have Joshua Babalola. And Joshua is an IT solution provider with over 10 years experience in IT infrastructure. He has worked with PwC, PepsiCo, and Microsoft. And Also, we have Zona Agupata. Zona Agupata is currently the head of IT governance and strategy for Union Bank. This is somebody I respect so much. He's very vast, very well experienced, over 14 years of experience, cutting across IT strategy, IT enterprise governance, IT operations, and business objective alignment. He does a lot of things. He's very vast. We also have, as part of our faculty leads speakers, we have Oluwase Adelusi, like that rightly said the other time. She currently works with Dell, and she has experience cutting across DevOps engineering, cloud infrastructure management, and software engineering. She's very good with writing and traveling and reading of books. Femi Shadare is one professional I respect so much. Femi is very, very vast, very, very vast. And when it comes to the aspect of cloud computing and orchestration, you can give it to him. And so you just rest assured that you're not just going to be hearing those theoretical aspect of things. He will be giving you hands-on. Femi Shadare is a professional, currently works with EY, like that was said. He's a motivated person interested in defining strategies and processes. He's very good with EA, enterprise architecture. We also have Kelly. So like you said, there's a lot to DevOps. It's not just the practice, not just the tool. Kelly is the cybersecurity lead with over 10 years of experience in the aspect of information security, and he'll be taking us through. So we can also get to see the aspect, see DevOps from the perspective of security practitioners. We have AC Ataide. He's a network and automation engineer. He has over 7 years of experience in information technology, and with his area of expertise covering around operation, automation, troubleshooting of complex enterprise, cloud and service provider networks. Emmanuel Okon also is also an information security specialist. In fact, I respect Emmanuel so much. Emmanuel has a lot of awards. He's recognized by Microsoft Nigeria and Facebook because of his innovative contributions that he has made in the aspect of artificial intelligence and IT security. And we also have, like that was said, we have some of our faculty leaders that have not captured here. We have the likes of Lawrence Atta, we have Semi, we have David, we have Uluwadara Ashalu, we have Yetunde Salu. Yetunde Salu is one of our faculty that will be helping us with the aspect of project management. She's an expert in that space, and she'll be helping us. All these our faculty leaders, they are willingly giving out their time to help. They'll be driving the meetup session, we'll be having the workshop sections, and all our digital lectures will be driven by this set of faculty leads. And you're going to see more of them as we proceed in the mentoring program on the Discord channels and through our various meetups. Thank you very much. So I'll hand over to Dako for him to take the part of the questions from our mentees and participants.
Okay, before that, before we take questions, we'll just give room for Nuruddin to quickly take us through our Discord page itself, the Discord format, rules, and regulations. So Nuruddin, please, under 2 minutes, let us quickly take, let us just show us through the Discord page and what we need to know.
Okay, thank you so much, Dapo. I have just shared like a web view of the Discord page. I believe we all can see it. And as Dapo has explained earlier, we have different different channels and also serving different purposes. And presently I am on the announcement channel, and it's on this channel that you have information about our conferences, our workshops, and also our programs or events that are coming up. So I will advise that you watch out or always be at alert or probably enable notification for this channel. Another channel we have is just the DevOps resources channel. This channel is basically just for materials that actually has to do with DevOps resources, and we have the career channels. On the career channels, information on job vacancies, because this is something like I said, we find a lot of it in our a lot of opportunities that we can actually share with everyone. So we also be posting job opportunities. On the long run, our aim is basically to make sure that many of us can actually, after probably the DevOps mentorship program, you can actually go in or take in entry-level DevOps role for people that don't have any knowledge, or for people that have experience that can go and take an advanced or probably mid to senior level DevOps role. Then we have some channels that actually has to do with the general, some of the DevOps practices that I've talked about. You can see Linux, Agile methodology, cloud, CI/CD, Docker. On these channels for different programs, you have information that will be posted on this channel. Now, another very important channel is when it comes to the mini project. As Dakwa said, he said at the end of every sprint, if I'm very correct, you will be assigned different tasks, and you also be segmented into teams. You can see team Kubernetes, team Agile, team Docker, and team Cloud. So when you are given a task and you actually, put into a particular team, then you have access to these channels, and within these channels you can brainstorm together and probably work on a particular task that's been assigned to you to work on. And I believe that with time we get to talk a lot, and if you're having any challenge with probably permission in getting information, and you can always reach out to me, reach out to Dakwa, or reach out to Oluwashim. We'll always be there to help you out. And also we have our faculty leaders also on this Discord page, because they've come with their experience, and they're also willing to help us. I think that is just like a brief overview of the Discord, the Discord server. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Nuruddin, for that roadmap. Right. So in closing, I just want to leave us with these thoughts, right? And it says that in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear for failure, right? I'm sure that so many people have fears, within them. How do I want to overcome this? Like, how do I want to learn? Is this the right channel for me? My background is not IT and all of that. So, but the most important thing is that your desire for success will be greater than your fear for failure. And then with that, would call it a wrap from an end, and would open the floor for questions so that we can address them. So please, if you have any question, kindly raise your hands up so that we can take questions, and then we can call it a wrap for today. So questions, please.
Yeah, I think there's a question on the chat. And the first question was about the schedule. The schedule will definitely be on the Discord channels. You can check our announcement channel and every other channel on Discord. You have the schedule, that's the roadmap. Then there's another question that talks about, can we post job opportunities from outside Nigeria? Definitely. We are actually open to, going to post DevOps jobs that actually has to do within Nigeria and outside Nigeria, most especially remote roles. And I believe that by the time we are done with this first phase of our mentorship program, you can actually take up entry-level job and start something on your own. Yeah, that's it. Any other question?
Okay, so let us also address some questions that we have within the registration page. Someone asked that, I want to begin a mentorship program which would help shape a better career path. Yes, you're on the right channel. This would help you reshaping your career paths so that at least you can rediscover your skills within DevOps. How will these classes be taught? I think I've already shared the DAS roadmap. Do I need to know how to run? Do I need to know how to program to become a DevOps engineer? Okay, so now, so this question is not direct, so to say. So you don't really need to be a programmer to become a DevOps engineer, right? Again, this when Udin was talking, he talked about people coming from the dev environments, and other people coming from the operations environments, to work as a team, to be able to increase the velocity at which applications are actually released to the pipeline. So it is important for you to know how these applications work. For example, if you want to deploy a React application, you want to deploy a .NET framework application, it is very important for you to know how a .NET application is built. I usually tell people my place of work is that whatever you cannot do manually, don't even try to automate it. But if you can do it manually, right, you can always automate the process itself. So it is very good for you to learn how all of these applications are written. For example, applications with Python, you can just take a week course in Python, right? If you are trying to deploy a .NET application, right, it's good for you to know how all of these applications are built, the restore packages, the build processes and all of that. But it is not important, but it is not compulsory for you to be a programmer before you become a DevOps engineer. I'm not a programmer. Nudin is not a programmer. Shion as well. Most of our faculty leaders are not programmers, but the few that are actually programmers as well, they also have a full understanding of how DevOps work. But it is very good if you know how applications are built and the functions. Other person said, I'm a power plant technician with keen interest in cloud engineering, believing I'll be able to transit into cloud engineering. Yes, of course. I usually tell people that what you need to become a DevOps practitioner today is just one thing: interest. Once you have that interest and the passion, right, I believe you'll be able to do exploits within the DevOps space today. So it comes with interest and passion, right? Deep interest and passion. Just like I've said, the roadmap it has a steep learning curve, where sometimes things can be confusing, things can be very difficult. But then, once you have that passion, once you have that zeal to be able to do whatever you want to do, again, interest is very important. You'll be able to, surpass any hurdle that comes along your way. Then another, can I be a pro in 6 months or a year if I give it all? Well, a professional. I've been doing DevOps for over 3.5 years, right? I think 3.5 years. And I can tell you that I'm still learning, so you can't just say that you want to be a pro within 6 months if you are not really putting your best. So you can actually know the fundamentals, of what it entails to become a DevOps engineer, but just put in your best, practice daily, and within a year, I believe you become a very, very good DevOps practitioner, so to say. So there's no time limit to say that, yes, I have 20 years experience in DevOps, then I'm an expert, right? So again, it depends on how you put in work into all of this. Now, my other question is, I like to learn to know more. Okay, I don't understand this question, but I guess you are trying to say that you want to find out more about the details. Again, once you join the Discord channel, all of the information that you need are on that page. Is it a remote training? Yes, everything is going to be done remotely, right? All of our lectures will be done again on Discord, and as well as trainings, hands-on sessions, will be done using Zoom, as well as our YouTube page. So once you are on our Discord page, right, you will have all of the information that you learn. The other person said, okay, kudos to you guys. You guys are doing a very interesting. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I think that will be all. So do you have any other? Okay, so we have questions within
on the chat, on the Zoom chat.
Okay. Sean, so you can take that.
So somebody is talking about, can we help you with a DevOps engineer CV and LinkedIn review after the program, please? That is not an issue. Like we said, it's a mentoring program. So whatever aspect, wherever we think we can help, we'll always be willing and available to help you. We have experts in the field. And whatever review you need in regards to your CV and your LinkedIn post, that will be taken care of. It's not an issue. Somebody is talking about, can we know efforts to be able to apply for DevOps jobs in 15 weeks? Like I already mentioned this. Don't come with a mindset of in 3 months, in 6 months. He told you he has over 3 years of experience in the area of DevOps and he's still learning. DevOps is something that is very wide. I posted something on, we have another platform where we interact. I posted something on that platform and somebody said, wow, this DevOps thing is just too robust. You feel you have learned one thing, and before you say, hey, another thing is coming up. So it's continuous learning. You know, I was telling them yesterday, I said, just like you have continuous integration, for DevOps environment or DevOps practice is continuous learning. That's why if you check our slogan, we say learn. You don't stop. You don't stop learning. You keep on learning, and you never can tell. With the knowledge you would have acquired in 15 weeks, you can start trying entry-level roles in DevOps. So what is the YouTube page? You have that. It's no issue. We put that on our Discord. Okay, like already mentioned that DevOps as a service, daas.ng. You can see, you can check for that on the YouTube page. I think that will be all from my own end. We don't have any other questions. All right, thanks for the wonderful comments. Thanks, I appreciate everybody.
Okay, this is very interesting. Okay, someone just posted something again, Sean. He said, this is very interesting. Actually on DevOps Engineer Bootcamp, but already find what I can learn with you again. Of course, learning never stops, right? If you are part of a bootcamp, you can join as many bootcamps as possible, right? So for you to learn. So do we have any other questions so that we can call it a wrap? Then for those that have missed this, we would have this video uploaded on our YouTube channel, right? So again, the YouTube channel was just opened. You know, we are just new, so you might not find any context for now, but just subscribe to the YouTube page so that once we have any new content, you can be notified.